Daf 9 of Beitzah deals with the question of morit ayin. Morit ayin is when you have something you're actually allowed to do, but it looks like something you're not allowed to do. What are the circumstances? Like, how do you handle that? So, for instance, I remember a time years ago that I was going from Israel to America and with a friend. And if you're living in Israel, and this is your home base, then you observe only one day of these 2-day holidays. The first day you have one day of Passover, one Passover Seder. Whereas if you live in America, you have two Passover Seders. It's the way we kind of do things differently. I won't go into the reasons right now. We talked about it in a previous video. But so say a person goes to America from Israel and suddenly they only have to keep one day of the holiday, but everyone else is keeping 2 days. And they don't want to appear to be doing things that are prohibited on the festival, even though they're not required to follow it. Well, the average person who sees them in the street doesn't know that. They just see an Orthodox Jew doing something. And someone might be like, oh, I'm allowed to do that? I didn't know that. And the person who's seeing them might not be allowed to do it, just might be the person who's doing it. So we want to avoid any appearance of impropriety. So certainly in the Mortayim, we say, you shouldn't walk around doing things that people wouldn't think you're allowed to do, or that especially those people are not allowed to do, because they wouldn't necessarily think about all the reasons that you are an exception to this category. So just don't do them out in public. It's a pretty simple rule, except we have a debate on it. And there are those rabbis who say that, well, maybe if you're not allowed to do it in public, you shouldn't be allowed to do it in private either. And that's the debate. So if you know that you're allowed to do it and that other people are not, can you do it hidden all on your own? Or should you just refrain from doing the action entirely that entire time? So back to our example, somebody from Israel who only has to keep one day of a holiday, who goes to America where they keep 2 days of the holiday. On the second day of the holiday, should the person be up in their room on their phone doing work on their computer, hidden where nobody's going to see? Or should they say, no, that entire day I'm not going to do any work whatsoever because I don't want people to, even though they're not going to see me, I don't want to even be delving into that realm. Clearly, I can't do it in public where people are seeing, but if I can't do it in public, I shouldn't be doing it in private either.